Welcome back to Wild Space, everybody. I am here today with Alan. We have just finished the Vancouver Planetary Qualifier this past weekend. Alan was the finalist, the runner-up. Had an awesome run and couldn't quite get it over the finish line, but hey, it happens. And I ended up in the top 8. And so we're just going to chat a little bit about our decks and the event, and then a little bit about the meta. Alan, thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to start with your Vader list. I want you to talk about the deck, but first, tell me about your super secret tech card. No one else is playing it. I think you caught a lot of people by surprise. What do people need to get into their Vader lists?
Well, yeah, it's a big event, and no one plays it from what I've seen. It's evil is everywhere. That's going to be your pilot killer right now. No one sees it coming because no one plays it, and anything that's going to be on Vader flip turn or lower, you're usually going to be ready for because as soon as Vader flips out, you get 2 free villainy aspects, and if they flip on anything 4 or below, generally you have the board ready for it, and you just immediately kill whatever comes out after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Evil is Everywhere, 3 cost, it's the villainy event. You can destroy a unit equal to or less than, sorry, with cost equal to or less than the amount of villainy icons on your board. And the TIE fighters that Vader spews out counts. So, what was the biggest blowout that you got off that card in the event?
It would have, I believe it was the semifinals game, and Nathan, one of our boys there, was watching it. It would have been Vader flip, and then we Garindin took away the Outer Rim Constable, so we were clear on board. Um, put the ties down. He flipped Luke counter onto a ship, and then we Evils everywhere and completely had the board under control.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's against a tough matchup, which is Luke. So yeah, Vader, I would say people would say is not favored in the meta right now because it's got a hard time into both Luke and Boba. But tell us what decks do you play? Because I know you went through a couple of those matchups on the day.
So what we played that day, and it was a pretty same deck every time. So it started off with Obi-Wan, Virgin's Temple, and I'm comfortable with that matchup. It's just a straight race matchup. Expect the bounce from Kanan, and just try and basically get board control in space and just keep big damage units out there.
Mm-hmm.
Won that race, thankfully. And then from there, it was just Lando, 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 Tobias, Tobias, Luke, Luke.
Mm-hmm. And the
And
two Lukes were the top 8 and the top 4 match, yeah.
yeah, so it was back to back Lukes, and both games, it's one of the harder matchups if they get out the Jedi Starfighter, and in all those matches they have them every time, and it's just an uphill battle because there's no real unit that can just outright trade it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to just find the right move, and initiative is going to be your best friend. You can't create ties to lose that tempo.
Right, right. What when you are in those tougher matchups, what cards are you looking for? Like, what do you think is your best kind of sequence that you can kind of not get wiped off the board?
Stolen AT haul or arrest is your best combo. You always want to have an arrest regardless because Chewbacca, if anyone drops a Chewbacca, you got to have that answer. It's the only answer that can outright stop Chewbacca.
Mm,
And that's one of the ideas was the whole deck is before anything is how do you stop Pilot Chewbacca and build from there. And arrest was right in off the top.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think Yellow Vader has a lot of good tech cards. I know I was playing the Arrest as well, the Hold for Questionings in my deck, and so it definitely has ways to interact with the opponent to kind of get you the edge that you need.
The last minute additions were Craving Powers and Eager Escort Fighters, but Craving Power that day was a good powerhouse for just getting a Clone Combat Squadron, whatever their next action is, just next turn Craving Power and start clearing the board.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Nice. What is there? So yeah, aside from the Luke matchup or the Boba matchup, is there any other decks in the meta that you're like a little bit not happy to see, or most of the other ground decks do you find you can just win the race?
What from me and you testing any of the Chewbacca and Dedra, it seems like the four drops really are tough to deal with in a Vader matchup
Okay.
from when we tested.
Yeah.
Um, it's just that they seem to be much faster, but they don't have great matchups into certain things. So it's it's a tough trade-off. If you do see them, they have to really work their way up.
Yeah. I don't know if you had the craving powers in your deck when we were testing, so maybe that would make a difference too, to be able
I'm
to.
wondering, yeah, if that was maybe the niche to clear, and then have Evil is Everywhere's backup because no one expects that card. Every single person I played against on the way up was reading that card,
Hmm.
and I got a good laugh out of it. No one was ready for it.
Hmm. It is an event that kills leaders, which is crazy, but I think really before now, there hasn't been a time when, because there's a lot of decks that are just ground or, just space, then it allows you time to build up that swarm, and then the ties can just come in and smack something. So, yeah, that's good. Nice. All right, so I've got a Sly Red list up here. This is a list I played. Managed to get into the top 8, ended up losing to Luke. But I think it has a lot of tools into the space decks right now, so I was happy with how it played. I already did a deck video about this, so I won't talk about it more than that. If you are interested, you can check out that video.
The Serial Karn is great into space. It hurts when they play that,
Hmm.
and you're in space, and you just suddenly got to make choices.
Yeah, start attacking their hand is great. Yeah. Okay, let's just chat a little bit about the meta right now. So I feel like there's kind of four big decks: the Boba, the Luke, the Lando, and then the aggressive negotiations decks. I kind of lump into one. I think you were mentioning Beckett is maybe a little bit unique from them.
Uh, Beckett's pretty straightforward with what he's trying to do, right? He just gets out his big bomb early or control, and then suddenly he's got all these cards in his hand and follows up with it. But yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, he's kind of a ramp deck slash aggressive negotiations deck. So I guess he's a little bit
it's
different
just
than
a nice finisher for him after that big bomb drop.
that. Yeah. How do you feel about this meta? Do you like it? Are there
I'm
things you
comfortable with
dislike?
it.
Yeah.
If people say it's really it is a turn 5, turn 6 meta right now.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're facing off ground to ground, space to base, it can go up to higher turns. In my finals games, we went up to the ninth, 10th resources most games there. It was just slugfest back and forth as most as we could.
Hmm. Yeah, for
But
sure.
no, it does it is against an aggressive negotiation deck. It's turn 5, turn 6, and can you control and slow them down to get your play out to stop them?
Where would you rank it as far as like the past metas? Are you enjoying this one more or less than some of the others?
I don't mind. I actually quite like this one. I felt like it's a more diverse set of leaders out there this time around. You got more choices. There is ways to beat it. We do have hand hate. Hold for questioning is great. You got Garindin. Mind you, that's just in my aspects, but
Yeah,
that's the ways I stop it and slow it down.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
can go for many different cards. That's the whole point of the deck, right? Is just because you're in space doesn't mean you can't have an answer to certain cards.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like green is in a tougher spot right now. Maybe green hero. I don't. There's not really a lot of decks that are thriving in Green Hero. Although I did see some Lando greens pop up over the weekend. Um, I know our other buddy Nate is a big control player, and he's unhappy with the meta right now because their control is pretty dead. Like it's just too fast. There's too many threats to try and deal with. So there could be some balance there, I guess, but we'll see.
There's not a whole lot of control leaders out right now besides maybe Aura Singh.
Hmm. Yeah. Are you expecting bans from FFG in the
I
coming
mean,
near future?
if you look at the deck lists and all top eight, I mean, most of them are, if not all, running aggressive negotiations.
Mhm. Our top eight for Vancouver was three Lukes, a Boba, your Vader, so five space decks, and then a Lando, Tobias, and Sly. And I believe seven of the decks, no, six of the decks had aggressive negotiations in them.
I mean, it is right now, and I could see it right as soon as testing begins because I look at the cards right away. It's a pilot meta right now. There's not many answers.
Mhm.
Um, but combo that with aggressive negotiations, the swings get big, it ends games.
Yeah, I wonder. It'll be interesting to see if there's enough stuff in the card pool, whether or not people can just build decks that just hate out the pilot X completely. If you can just build a deck that's so anti pilot, space aggro that they start
I
getting
mean, it
played
just takes
less.
one card, like play it, defeat a space unit, or multiple space. Like there's ways that, and I always have that hope. Like next set, it's gonna have answers for these kind of things.
Yeah, it's possible in next set. I'm interested to see. It's early in the season now, the PQ season. Um, the next one that I'm going to is in mid-May, so like 5 or 6 weeks away. I'm interested to see if there's any shakeup before then. So yeah.
But I mean, we see what the meta looks like. It's boba. It's a space and a little bit of a ground mix, and just try and find the answers as best we can. It's a big space war right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any highlights from the PQ for you? Either moments in games or plays, or yeah, anything that you wanted to shout out that you enjoyed?
I'm surprised I even made it to the finals. I had no expectation of that coming up. I had a early early loss in the tournament there, and no one like, oh yeah, it was round two, and that demoralizes you quite early on. But
Hmm.
I mean, I just go out, get a coffee, come back, sat down two more games, we won those, lost the fifth, and then just kind of apparently got there in the end. It was just good matchups. Um, I didn't expect having the answers to the Luke Jedi starfighters off the rip, but
Yeah.
luckily everything seemed to work out. It was just my answers seemed to come out. Maybe they didn't have the answers, and we ended up getting there. It was just a great day.
Yeah. But you, what was the other? Did you finish top eight in the other PQ? Didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that was
yeah,
with
yeah.
Gar in the
Yeah,
past. Yeah, yeah.
was that no, that wasn't JTL meta. That was
Legend of the Force. It would
it
have
was
been
Legend of the
Legends.
Force meta.
Yeah,
Okay,
with ECL Gar. That was a good day too.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
But no, it's nice to bring Vader there, especially this version. I was playing red before, so
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it was good. It was a fun day. The top eight was, yeah, maybe not as diverse as I would hope, but I think it was like very representative of the meta. And like, yeah, look at your road to victory, or your road through the event was like just meta deck, meta deck, meta deck, meta deck, right? There wasn't too
yeah,
much
yeah.
other
I
than
didn't
that.
I didn't expect that I would have been the only Vader there. I thought there would have been maybe two or three, but
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure
was
if there.
surprised looking after.
Yeah, I did play. There was one other cool deck I got to play in round three, and it was the new Leia
Okay, yeah,
on a
yeah.
splash base. Andrew was playing that, and
That's like an
so
aggro deck coming at you kind of there.
yeah, so he was flipping Leia. Usually he would like get so it's green blue. So he would have a green unit out, and then on five he would play Zeb for the deal five, and then he'd flip Leia into a 5/5 or 6/6. And so yeah, it was strong. We had some good games. I think the third game came down to one action, and so yeah, it was nice to see another kind of off meta deck there. Uh, yeah, getting some wins. And yeah, Richard ended up taking it with Boba Data Vault, so congrats to him. He's from
Yeah, he played a great game. He knew what he was doing to pilot that one to victory. He even you could tell he was even holding his flip turn before he did a nice board clear and all my stuff.
yeah.
So he knew how to pilot that very well.
Yeah, and he's been close before. I think it was maybe the Legends of the Force meta. He lost in the top four or the top eight. I can't remember of Vancouver. So he's comes down from Kelowna to play. So congrats to him.
Yeah, everyone in the upper echelon there was good players there.
Hmm. All right. I think that was everything we wanted to talk about. Yeah, it was a good day. Good to have some fun, play some cards, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, that was a good day. Thanks for having me for the chat here.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Alan. Thank you to everyone for watching, and we will see you next time.